Good to see you, Dr. Merchandani. I feel like it's been forever.
Yes, Ashley, certainly. It's been a long time, and I enjoyed reading your posts as you traveled to India and other places.
Thank
Priyanka,
you.
can you just take over, please? It has already been broadcasted.
Yes.
Hello, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Priyanka, and I am the South Asia in-country representative for University of Missouri, St. Louis. I would like to welcome you all to this most knowledgeable session today, and I'm sure you're going to benefit out of it to the most. I know this has not been a very great time considering COVID-19 situation, and you must be taking care of yourself and your loved ones because that's most important. And considering this, we have not been able to connect with you, and I think this is the best platform for us to know each other and to share information and share our knowledge with each other. So today's session is going to be about information system. And we have a wonderful faculty from University of Missouri St. Louis who would be giving you the complete details about the program and different options which you have related to this program. If I talk about the information system professionals, they fill different roles such as system analysts, designers, database administrators, cybersecurity officers, web designers, project managers, software testers, and technical writers, and there are so many other roles also they can fill in. I'm sure you are going to earn in-depth knowledge on this subject by our panel of facilitators. We also will be talking about the admission requirement of the program, about University of Missouri. And for that, Ashley, who is our international recruitment and admissions coordinator, would be giving you the complete insights. So we'll start, I'll not take much of your time and we'll start over with the session. I'm sure you must be aware of Zoom. So let me just tell you that during this session, your mics and camera are going to be on mute. And if you have any questions and queries, please make use of question and answers tab. So we will have question and answers round at the end of the presentation. And if in case you face any technical concerns or anything, we have chat box and the team will help you out with your questions and queries. So I'll not take much of your time and I'll introduce you to Ashley, who's gonna then in turn introduce you to our faculty members and about UMSL. Over to you, Ashley. Thank you, Ashley.
Hi, good morning, good evening to everybody. My name is Ashley. I am the International Recruitment and Admissions Coordinator here with the University of Missouri St. Louis. Before I get into everything and introduce our presenting faculty members, I want to say a quick thank you to our colleagues at MSM for helping us to host this event. We're super excited. But without further ado, I'm happy to have the pleasure of introducing our presenting faculty members in the UMSL College of Business Administration. Firstly, I'd like to introduce Dr. Dinesh Marchandani, Professor and Department Chair of Information Systems and Technology. Followed by Dr. Vijay Anand, who is our Associate Professor of Information Systems and Technology. So thank you, gentlemen, so much for joining us today. Huge thank you for coming and using some of your time to help us out here and explain a little bit about the fields of information systems and technology and cybersecurity, but also why students should choose to study these programs here at UMSL and what makes these programs so exceptional. So if at any point, if you guys want to use the screen, just let me know and I can stop sharing. But without further ado, I'll go ahead and pass the torch on to you guys.
Yes, Ashley, if I could share the screen, please.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Priyanka, for the introduction, and thank you, Ashley. Thank you, MSM, for hosting this presentation, and thank you, everyone, for joining us. This is a difficult time for every one of us, and I know that these times are challenging, but we always are optimistic that the future is brighter. So I hope we all have that in mind. So I'd like to talk about the Information Systems and Technology Department at the University of Missouri, St. Louis, and to share my passion for what we do and my pride in my faculty and in my university. Uh, this is a personal conversation for me because several years ago I came to the United States as an F1 student, and I had many questions in my mind and not many people to guide me. And I am so grateful that the young people today have you all to guide them. And I do know that you all care about your students, about their best interests. And my colleagues and I would like to try to answer your questions and provide you as honest and as free information that you can share with the students. So the IST department, as we like to call it, has 4 degree programs, the Bachelor's and Master's of Science in Information Systems and Technology, and Bachelor's and Master's in Cybersecurity. Our 4 degrees are all STEM accredited degrees, so students do have the extra time for the OPT. Our websites are ist.umsl.edu and cybersecurity.umsl.edu. So our degrees are very applied. We offer multiple electives to students so that they can create a customized path for them. As Priyanka explained, we have multiple different options and we want to prepare students for various aspects of information technology careers that not only relate to the design and development, but also implementation, security, and management of IT. We also believe that our curriculum should be top-notch, and not that we should say it, but that others should recognize it. So we carry the highest accreditations for our degrees. We want our students to be competitive in the global economy. So we organize our own competitions, hackathons, encourage students to attend intercollegiate competitions. We organize our own job fairs to ensure that our programs not only prepare students, but also ensure that they are placed in the right careers. Our program is very much focused on providing students knowledge of 2 domains, what we call the problem domain, which is business and its various fields, and the solution domain, which is IT. So our students are different from computer science students because our students appreciate the business aspect as well as the applied technology aspect. Our students graduate and enable their organizations to align their IT plans with business plans, which is a major hurdle for many organizations. As they invest their IT budgets, they need a workforce and they need capable managers who can guide them in making the right investments with technology. So IST specializes in solving business problems with technology. As you know, we expect the field to grow faster than average. The breadth of careers and the compensation in IT outpace most industries. And our department has a very current and robust curriculum, which is informed by industry advisory boards and reinforcing activities and student clubs that prepare students. So this is the structure of my presentation. I will talk about aspects of these in the next few minutes and then answer questions. So information systems and technology is concerned with information that computer systems can provide an organization in making better decisions, in defining and achieving its goals. And we also teach students, therefore, about business processes, processes in accounting, in finance, in marketing, and supply chain, because technology can improve those processes and deliver value to the organization. So this is where we differ from computer science. The computer science majors focus very heavily on the study of the machine, on mathematics. They would be more focused on the low level operation of the machines and the algorithms. They are focused on optimizing algorithms and optimizing um, their solutions, whereas IST majors understand business and technology. They understand business processes and technology. So our problem domain is the business. Our solution domain are the technology solutions that can map to the business problems. Again, that alignment of business with IT makes our students extremely valuable to businesses. Again, IT and IST jobs are ubiquitous in every industry, spanning art, finance, healthcare, entertainment. IST professionals work on creative teams to develop solutions to problems unique to their industry. Their compensation tends to be higher than other professions. And again, the very fact that we continue to work in this environment, that we are able to communicate with each other across continents, is enabled by technology. It enables us to work across time zones, across geographic distances, and it offers that flexibility to make it such that we are productive no matter where we are and no matter what the time. In terms of the health of the IST industry, we see growth in diversity of careers. The pace of change in the last 2 decades has been astounding. IST majors have high job satisfaction and very satisfactory levels of pay. Again, as Priyanka mentioned, we have a wide diversity of careers. Our students are not just coders, though we do prepare them for application development, but we also prepare them for project management. We imbibe them with leadership skills. We also teach them aspects like software quality assurance, software testing. How do we ensure that our systems are well integrated? How do we write technical documentation? How do we govern IT? And how do we protect our information assets? So how do we ensure that we take into account cybersecurity? So we project that IST occupations will grow 12% over the next several years. They will add several new jobs because, again, this is important for any new graduate. And again, these are the annual wages for computer and IT professionals uh, in the United States, and they tend to be higher than the median average wage in other professions. So again, where have our students found jobs? They found jobs in application development. Many of them have found jobs in systems analysis, business analysis. Many of them in information security as analysts, as penetration testers, and as network administrators, database administrators, and in the help desk. So again, being able to communicate with with business users, being able to understand the nuances of technology as well as business processes enables them this level of flexibility. I often describe this to students that they have the best of both worlds when they have an applied IT preparation as well as an appreciation of the business, because it makes them that much more versatile and that much more valuable. I'll talk about our undergraduate degree first. I realized that most international students, most students from India, and that's where I grew up and where I spent my uh, early years, do tend to come for graduate school for the master's degree. But it's been very rewarding for me to see many students from India come for the undergraduate degree. So our undergraduate degree spans 4 years. We call it 120 credit hours, where it approximates to about 40 courses taken over 4 years. We have 8 core classes where we introduce students to the foundational areas in information systems. So starting with general literacy about IT to understanding programming. We teach the Java programming language because that is still a precursor to modern programming languages, and some of the skills you learn in object-oriented programming provide you the ability to appreciate modern languages. But our focus again is not on the tool, it's more on the knowledge, because if we were focused on the latest tools of the trade, then we are underserving the students. We want to prepare them to grow. We want to provide them fundamental knowledge about how we write computer applications and web applications. So beyond the Java programming classes, we also teach R and Python. We teach JavaScript. We teach C#. So we do provide students, and we also teach COBOL, because many business applications in production today still use COBOL. But the idea being that we want students to understand best practices and foundational concepts that can translate to any tool that they choose to adopt. We also teach them foundations of database management and structured query language. We teach them information systems analysis, the business analysis skill set. We also teach them information systems design, where they take all their skills and are working with live clients to deliver a working solution to them. So analyzing a business problem for the client and implementing a technology solution for that problem. We also teach them data networks and cybersecurity. So again, these core classes provide them the foundational knowledge, and then they have 10 electives to pick from. And these electives go into tracks like application development, business intelligence, cybersecurity, legacy systems, web application design. So you'll see it's a very rich curriculum because we realize that a degree in a rich discipline like ours should not prepare students for just one kind of job. Students have different interests, different talents, and we want to develop the talent of the students in areas that they are particularly inclined to. We also support self-directed learning, and this might be of interest to international students. So working with faculty members on independent studies and individual research, and also working in internships in different companies in our vicinity. Um, we also encourage non-IS majors to minor in IST. And why this is important is because we want our students to be exposed to different styles of thinking. We want our classes to have students who major in accounting, in marketing, in finance, in computer science, in supply chain, because these are the different people who IST students will work with, and being able to communicate with them in classes, work with them in teams is a very critical skill set to develop. So we very much encourage that cross-pollination, and I think that strengthens our curriculum and our classroom experience because of the variety of different ideas. A saying that I recently read really struck home to me, and it says that the one idea that you may not have considered is the one voice that you may not have heard. And we want our students to hear different voices. We want them to be able to appreciate that there are different ways to look at problems, and being able to adapt a problem to a unique solution is really a valuable skill. So beyond the curriculum, we want our students to develop as leaders. We encourage them to be part of our student clubs, to organize and participate in hackathons. We have 2 hackathons, a co-gender hackathon every February and a women's hackathon every November. We have a women's conference that we crowdsource funds for, and have taken our students to these conferences in different cities like Orlando and Houston in the United States, so they get to see and be inspired by women technologists and participate in a job fair. We organize our own job fair in February and also in October, our own cybersecurity conference, and multiple events through our student clubs. So in terms of student engagement, I think we are frankly unsurpassed by any department or any university in the country. We run dozens of events each year because, again, we want students to learn as much outside the class as in the class, and also develop leadership skills. We want students to organize these events. We want them to interact with companies as they seek mentors, as they seek sponsorships. They develop the skills to communicate. They develop the skills to organize. They evaluate the skills to be able to bring people together. Moving on to our master's degree, It's structured in the form of what we call stackable certificates. A certificate is a four-course sequence in a particular niche. So you could consider these as specializations within the master's degree. So we have a graduate certificate in enterprise systems development, which takes students through programming and software assurance and software testing. So this is the focus on application development and application maintenance, both contemporary as well as legacy, as well as web applications. We also have a certificate in information security management and auditing. And this is where we introduce students to systems infrastructure, to principles of information security, risk management and compliance in relation to information security, and auditing systems to ensure that they are compliant with regulations. Again, in different industries, finance and healthcare, complying with regulations is a critical aspect of cybersecurity. And again, it's as much a knowledge about technology as it is a knowledge of policy, of regulations, and risk. We also have a graduate certificate in information systems and technology, which forms our core, which is essentially understanding the principles of developing an application, analyzing information systems, being able to come up with requirements and analyzing the requirements from an economic perspective, from a technical feasibility perspective, from an operational feasibility perspective. Understanding the foundations of data and database management, and then bringing it all together in a project that ties the skills together. An area that we
Hi, Mr. Dinesh. I'm sorry to interrupt, but can you just check if your mic is properly placed, because it is not audible.
Oh, it's not. Can you hear me now?
Still, your voice is too low.
Okay. I'll speak louder, but thank you for letting me know.
Yeah, that is a bit clear now.
Thank you. And the graduate certificate in business intelligence, where we teach students how to identify patterns in data so they can essentially tell the story that large data sets provide us as decision makers. We also have an overall management information systems course, which introduces students to the thinking of a chief information officer and what strategic decisions are relevant to information technology. In terms of our snapshot of the master's degree, it is a 30 credit hour program, 10 courses that can be completed in about 1.5 years. It is a STEM designated degree. We would like to see undergraduate degrees with a cumulative GPA of 3.2 and above. We would like to see competence or prior coursework in statistics and computer programming. We do require the GMAT or the GRE, but given the current situation with COVID, we would be willing to waive that requirement. But the reason we choose to keep the GMAT and the GRE is because we want to build a cohort that can take advantage of all that we offer them. When we offer a high quality curriculum, we want, as you heard me say, a class that complements the student and that comes from diverse backgrounds, that provides diverse ideas, but it is also a class that is at the same intellectual capability as the student. So that is something that entrance examination provides us. Again, our communication is entirely in English, so we would like an TOEFL or IELTS score, the minimum TOEFL being 79 IBT and minimum IELTS being 6.0. In terms of cybersecurity, again, this is a 10-course sequence. We introduce students to fundamentals and then take them deeper into technology, deeper into the management aspects of cybersecurity, and then electives in specialized areas. The MS Cybersecurity is also STEM designated. The similar requirements to the IST degree, but we do not require the GMAT or the GRE. But I would like to encourage students that if you do have a GMAT or GRE, please do submit that because it helps strengthen the application. But we look at recommendation letters, we look at the statement of interest of the student, we look at really why the student wants to come to our program in particular and what we can provide them to develop, and at the same time, how can they help fellow students be as engaged as they are. I would like to also invite my colleagues from cybersecurity to speak a few words about the cybersecurity program. Our program is designated by the National Security Agency and the Department of Homeland Security as a center of academic excellence in cyber defense education. So it is one of very few programs to have this stamp of approval from the US government. Our students are encouraged to participate in collegiate cyber defense competitions. We have an annual conference where we invite speakers who are doing research in cybersecurity as well as practitioners who are in the field. And we have a job fair where students are able to interact with employers who are seeking the skills that they have. I'd like to ask my colleagues, Dr. Anand and Dr. Singh, if they would like to say anything.
Anshuman, do you want to go first or should I go?
Vijay, you can go ahead.
Okay, so as Dr. Mirchandani mentioned, our program is very hands-on. We do discuss about the fundamentals of how cybersecurity topics are handled, but at the same time, we also make sure that the students that come out of our program, they are very much prepared to handle industry requirements as well as business requirements. So that's always the focus of any any part of our curriculum that we have. And in this case, I do come from industry. I've spent a lot of time in industry. So that experience I try to bring to the coursework. So all the content that you see will have some kind of business problem associated with it, and we try to focus more on that. Um, Having said that, I wouldn't say that we cannot understand the math or the low level details. We do absolutely will teach that aspect of it. So the student should not think that we are just adding tools or something like that. We do add the math aspect. We do stress on that, but it is not the focus of our curriculum. Our focus is to solve problems, and particularly business, societal problems also, like privacy, which is there is no business answer for one. All those constructs are heavily emphasized in our curriculum. Uh, as Dr. Mirchandani mentioned, our program is NSA DHS uh, Center of Cyber Defense Excellence. It is the first program in the state of Missouri to have that designation. That is one of our selling points of this program. And then our students have started competing in the National Collegiate Cyber Defense Competition. Um, I actually am the director for the state of Missouri for the CCDC competition. So they will, once they come here, we will try to emphasize on how to get into the competition, how to compete, and it gives them a very rich platform to see how to work with other technological people as well as managerial people uh, to win a competition or to protect their systems while they are being attacked. So that's a very live way of teaching students the challenges of the businesses. So those are the fundamental focus that we have within our curriculum. So, Anshuman, you want to add something on top of it?
Yeah, just wanted to add that cybersecurity is a very fast-moving discipline, and the way we prepare our students is to be competitive, not just for next 2 years for a particular technology, but you would have all the knowledge and expertise to remain competitive for decades to come. So this is one challenge students face if you study cybersecurity, which is more tools based, or which is it can become obsolete in 2 or 3 years as technologies change. But the way our curriculum works is we build foundations. You learn the foundations so that you have all the knowledge and skills necessary to remain competitive for many, many years or decades to come for your entire career. So this is what we really emphasize. And the reason we are able to do that is because all of us are involved in research, and that research helps us identify what is at the frontier, at the cutting edge of the discipline, and we try to bring it in our classroom. So that is where you get an edge of a true cutting edge education in the United States.
Thank you, Dr. Singh and Dr. Anand. Uh, and I would like to continue on what Dr. Singh said. Uh, you did see that my pride in my program and my colleagues is driven by the fact that the department's faculty are experts in the field. We do research in the field, which is why, again, working with international students is a pleasure, because many of the students participate in research projects with faculty. And we quite literally are pushing the envelope of knowledge further. What we research becomes the textbooks of tomorrow. And it is also the foundation for accreditation. The reason that not every university can get accredited, can get designations like we have, is because they lack the research in the field. And UMSL provides that cutting edge knowledge and the experiences to develop the students into being, as Dr. Singh mentioned, viable for many years as being extremely valuable to their organizations. I'd also like to talk about the St. Louis metro area. And one thing that has been remarkable over the last 5 years is that St. Louis has become a technology hub that is being compared to Silicon Valley. So it is one of the technology hubs, growing technology hubs in the Midwest United States. It's got a very strong growth of startup companies, several thousand new startups. And why this is important is that while we do have the large Fortune 500 companies, the startups are probably where international students may have a easier way of finding an internship or a job because they tend to be more flexible. They also tend to be quicker. They have lower levels of decision-making bureaucracy. So again, St. Louis as a destination to develop a student's career is really a good choice. So in summary, what we offer are accredited programs, a center of academic excellence in cybersecurity, an accredited bachelor's and master's degree as accredited by the AACSB, which is the premier accrediting body for business schools, opportunities for extracurricular learning through competitions, through conferences, through hackathons, leadership opportunities through active student organizations, the Information Technology and Cybersecurity Club, and the Information Systems and Technology Mentoring Club, where we bring together alumni and professionals with current students, a cloud-based cybersecurity lab, which uses cutting-edge technology to deliver lab experiences to students regardless of when and where they want to practice those labs. Online and blended courses for maximum flexibility, course content aligned with industry certifications, partnerships with St. Louis companies for internships and career placements, and a vibrant metropolitan city with an international airport, access to ethnic groceries, restaurants, entertainment, temples, mosques, gurudwaras, churches, and public transportation. So my colleagues and I would be happy to take your questions at this time. But if you also have questions later on, feel free to reach out to me. Please visit our website. Please do take a look at our Facebook and Twitter pages because we post all of our activities on our social media. Please do share these with your students because it shows you the variety of things that we do in the IST department at UMSL.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Merchandani, Dr. Anan, Dr. Singh. That was a really great presentation. Thank you so much for explaining so much about the programs. I think really quick before we get into the Q&A, if I might just do a bit of housekeeping and quickly go over some of the admissions requirements. I have a few slides prepared just so that you know, we can go ahead and show everybody if that's all right. All right, thanks very much. So let's see here. So just to retouch on everything that our presenting faculty went over. So just touching on the admissions requirements. So at the undergraduate level, admissions requirements are going to be fairly standard. Minimum 2.3 GPA on a 4.0 scale. Minimum requirements for English proficiency would be 5.5 IELTS, 61 TOEFL, 85/90 Duolingo, 44 PTE-A. And then at the graduate admission standards, you know, as Dr. Merchandani went into in great detail, you know, these are always going to be dependent on the degree itself. So that's why, you know, we always say revert to the degree profile. We have recommended minimum English requirements at the graduate level. The recommended minimum for the IELTS being 6.5, 79 TOEFL, 105, 110 Duolingo, 53 PTE-A. So a little bit, you know, as I was saying, how the admissions requirements are dependent on the program. Dr. Merchandani was very good to go over this in great detail. One thing I will add about the Information Systems and Technology master's degree is that in lieu of the pandemic, the GRE GMAT requirement for fall 2020 admission has been waived. So for fall 2020, due to the pandemic, the GRE GMAT is optional. Next, I want to share about the, just touch base on the cybersecurity. You know, as Dr. Merchandani explained, the dual track option, you know, going with the information systems track or the computer science track, and the advantages of which one and how either option would better align with a student's particular career goals. So then the application process. So it's going to be pretty straightforward. There is an online application that the student would just go ahead and fill out, just upload the required fields, upload the required application materials online. The next important part, you know, would be the agent cover letter. So this can really just be an email that you as a counselor or agent would send to your UMSL point of contact to either ask any questions about the application process in general, or even just to report that an application has been completed. So University of Missouri St. Louis is represented in the Indian subcontinent in Africa with our colleagues at MSM. So we do have in-country points of contact that you would be reaching out to for any questions having to do with applications, admissions requirements, etc. You know, that would be Jim and Priyanka, who you've met today and have likely met before today as well. For the graduate application process, it's going to be the same exact thing, except, you know, just taking care to upload those additional requirements like CVs or statements of purpose or recommendation letters. So with that, you know I anticipate there could be a few COVID related questions about admissions and what fall 2020 is going to look like. You know, at this point, we are still planning to return to campus in the fall with a blended approach. So a mix of digital and in-person instruction so that you can, you know, abide by the social distancing policies. We do know that visa services, you know, are a little bit unclear at the minute. So with that, you know, we are, you know, that's why we have made preparations for, you know, what would happen if a student isn't able to get to campus for the fall start. All undergraduate programs are going to be able to start their programs online if needed, and academic advising would be available over Zoom. You know, for the majors we covered today, including cybersecurity, also mentioning computer science, these are graduate programs that can be started online if the student needs. So just in case, you know, that is an option that the student will have available to them if they do need it. And then with that, just a little bit of touching base. I know if you attended our last webinar that went into UMSL in a more general sense about the university, this would be a little bit repetitive for you, so I won't go too terribly into detail, but I will just mention a couple of the resources we have on our campus. As you've met today, we do have some amazing faculty who really do go above and beyond for their students, a 19-to-1 faculty-student ratio, and as you can see, professors that truly do care about our students and helping them be as the best that they can possibly be throughout their program and learn as much as they can, and then helping them get to the ultimate goal, which is to apply the education they receive in college and then find a job in their field. With that, different organizations, student ways to get involved on campus housing options, and off campus as well. Office of Career Services and career fairs that are available to help students, polish their cover letters and resumes, and one-on-one mock interviews, like really preparing you for that next step, what happens after the education. As well as, I would work in international admissions, but we also have our international student and services team members who are going to be instrumental in helping our students get acclimated to campus and truly being their go-to resources while they're here throughout their time at UMSL. As I was saying, lots of different ways to get involved on campus. We do have a wonderful rec center that has a lot of amenities, fitness classes, indoor track, gym courts, free to students to use. Lots of different organizations to join. We do have our very own, UMSL Athletics, so you can catch a game and watch the UMSL Tritons. And then, of course, we do have a performing arts center on campus, and students do enjoy reduced tickets to these performances. I do want to touch on scholarships as well, because we do have exclusive scholarship opportunities for international students. The awards are merit-based, so however high your GPA is going to determine how much you could be eligible to receive. Undergraduates could receive up to $14,000, and graduates could receive up to $6,000 a year. This is just a little bit of a breakdown so you guys can kind of see how these decisions are made and how things get allocated. You will see a block for priority scholarship review. Now that just means that if you apply before these deadlines for your semester, that just means you're going to know sooner if you were awarded a scholarship. If you don't apply by these deadlines, that doesn't mean you aren't considered for a scholarship. That just means you would know after the first cycle. We have several cycles of scholarship review that are applicable to application timeline. Just a little bit to touch on the cost. I know that's usually a question that comes up. So here we have the estimated the expenses for the academic year 2020-2021. We have a little breakdown here for you, and the final figure you see on the screen is the amount that students, once they are admitted, are going to be required to show evidence of funds for in order to receive their I-20 immigration materials from us. And then I went ahead and did a similar breakdown for the graduate level of study. So again, the final figure here being the final figure you see here being the price that students need to have evidence of funds for to show that they would be able to maintain their own expenses during their program. That's not actually the amount that they're going to be paying. The actual amount that they would be paying is always going to be on an individual basis. Where do you choose to live? What are your spending habits like? What have you. So that being said, I did just want to go and touch on a few of those frequently asked questions, I suppose you could say. So that being said, I think I'll go ahead and hand things off to Priyanka. I think we have some questions in the Q&A set up for us. And so Priyanka has been very good to offer, looking at the questions and then passing them on to the appropriate presenter for today.
Thank you, Ashley. Thank you for such a wonderful presentation. And I would like to thank the faculty members here, those who have given us so much information about these programs, because I keep on receiving a lot of queries related to these programs. And I'm sure many questions have been asked of the agents here. So to give and to pick a few of the questions here. So first, if I talk about that is for our faculty here, wherein the question is that why is it important to have the prerequisites, be it in terms of computer sciences or MSIST programs? So why should we have prerequisites? Because there are other universities also which are accepting the students without any requirements of prerequisite courses for the master's degree level.
So the prerequisites that we ask for are basic understanding of statistics and basic understanding of programming. Again, I want to emphasize we are not a computer science degree. We are an information systems and technology degree. We are housed in the College of Business Administration. In India, you may know us as Management Information Systems or MIS. We are that blend between business and IT. So our students, they are exposed to both the business side and the IT side. Again, why we ask for statistics and some proficiency with programming is that they will just be beneficial to the students as they move through our curriculum. Again, I do want to emphasize that we are trying to build a cohort of students that work well together. And I think you will all appreciate that if there are some students who are less prepared than others and they struggle in the courses, it may slow the other students down and it may not be beneficial to the student either. So we do want some demonstrated proficiency and it's not meant to be a hurdle for the student, but this is an investment of time and an investment of money. We want to make sure that it is the right fit for the student.
Thank you, Dr. Dinesh Manchandani. I think this was very well explained, because it's very important that if we have to match up with the course and match up with the academics, so we need to have a good background. So that's why prerequisites are a must and required. So another question which is there that's related to more of admissions and for Ashley. So the question is the VES required, which is the education assessment of the documents, the academic documents?
Great question. So transcript requirements then. So a WES evaluation is not necessary unless the student cannot obtain official transcripts. So when the student is working on their online application, they're absolutely more than welcome to upload unofficial copies of their test scores and their transcripts. It is only after the student has been admitted that we do require the official test scores and official transcripts sent directly to UMSL from the awarding institution. One further note I will make about transcripts in general is I know semester mark sheets are a requirement for submitting transcripts from Indian universities. So we would require the individual semester by semester mark sheets as well.
Great. Thank you, Ashley, for that. So another important question which has come up is that, as we know that our bachelor's degree here, it is for 3 years as well. And this question goes for the faculty. So you will be able to accept our 3 years of degree, or is it acceptable?
So there are several criteria for 3-year degrees. So it would need to be either awarded by the University of Delhi or by a university that is accredited by the NAAC with a grade A at the time of the award.
Fantastic. And what about Duolingo? Because right now, considering COVID-19, we are accepting Duolingo. So for the question which has come is that, will you accept Duolingo for spring 2021 as well?
Yes, so we have decided, so Duolingo is, we are accepting Duolingo for our admissions requirements.
Great. And what about the application fees? Will the fees right now, as it is waived off, so will we have our application fees for our upcoming intakes?
So actually, I just received this news. Yes. So for for spring 21, pardon me, in lieu of the pandemic, we know that it has created quite a few burdens for many people around the world. And, in response to that, the application fee for spring 2021 will be waived.
Oh, wow. This is a great news because people have been asking about it. And you can submit across your application and send it across to us. If you have any questions and queries, then please get in touch with me. You have my mail ID with you. So I'll be happy to address your questions, if any, related to any of the applications. Another question which is there is, what is the turnaround time for us to get an offer letter and I-20?
Great question. So for undergraduates, we'd say, no more than a week. And then with graduate applications, we'd say maybe 12 business days.
Okay. And what will be the turnaround time once the student submits all the documents, including the score reporting? Or like a turnaround time, including the score reporting when they do?
Sorry, can you clarify school reporting?
What is the I-20 turnaround time once the student, because
Oh, I see.
it's they are asking regarding the school reporting. So if you can just emphasize or can give details on the school score reporting.
Sure. So once a student is admitted, the next step is to submit evidence of funds, which we went over, and then passports. And then if there's someone who is sponsoring their education, then that sponsor would need to sign an affidavit of support. And once we have all those required materials, we are good to go ahead and get the student matriculated and processed for their I-20s. That process would take about 10 to 13 business days. And then, especially now with UMSL being currently working remotely, easing into a campus return, I would probably tack on a few more days with that timeline.
Mm-hmm. Great, Ashley. Thank you for that. And we are getting questions in the chat box. I will request everybody, if you have any questions, please put that across in Q&A. We also have less of time left, so please put across your questions under Q&A tab here. So another question which is there, what is the deadline for our fall intake?
So the technical deadline for graduate programs would be May 1st, and for undergraduate would be June 1st. However, we do kind of take applications on a rolling basis. So really, we would look at applications until it's just no longer logistically possible for a student to be admitted, get a visa, and come to campus for the fall. So we would be fairly flexible in terms of the application deadline.
Another question which has come up is it possible to get an admission in the program, in the CS program, without any work experience?
I think I'll go ahead and let Dr. Merchandani take that one, if that's all right with you, Dr. Merchandani.
Certainly, Ashley. So once again, by CS, do you mean cybersecurity or
Yes.
computer science?
The cybersecurity, Dr. Merchandani. Yeah.
Thanks. So yes, it is possible. And I believe continuing through an academic pathway from undergraduate through to our program definitely will strengthen the student. They do have the opportunity to gain the experience through an internship when they are here. So yes, that will not be a hurdle.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Merchandani, for giving the answer of this question. I'll take the last question here because we are almost done with the time. So do you start classes online? Do you start with the classes on campus for this coming fall 2020 intake? And what is the plan for the further intakes? On campus classes, yeah.
Yeah, the plan is, welcoming students to campus as normal in the fall 2020. So unless something changes, that would be news that would be spread, to students who are expecting to come for fall 2020. So, any kind of changes or anything like that would be communicated to our admitted students. And, there are plans in place for if an online start is required. So we would be fairly well prepared for that scenario. However, currently the plan is to welcome our students to fall 2020 for blended in-person and digital instruction.
Great. Thank you, Ashley, for that. And thank you, faculty here. Dr. Dinesh, Dr. Singh, and Dr. Anand, do you have anything to share with our partner agents, those who are listening to you today?
Yes, thank you, Priyanka. I would be happy to share my slides. How can I get that to you?
You can send those slides to us, and we will be passing it on to our partner agents. And this session is all recorded. So another thing is that which I would like to tell everybody, that if you want to listen to this recording again, you can subscribe to our channel, which is like M Square channel MSM. On YouTube, we will be posting this webinar also very soon on that, and you will have access to all the information which was shared in this session today.
Thank you, Priyanka. I do want to say again, I appreciate all of you who listened in today for your many questions. I also appreciate that this is a very difficult time for all of you, as well as the students. And I do want you to know that we will do our best to take care of the students that you send to us. It is, I know, a challenge for a family to send their son or daughter overseas for education. It is a big step and a leap of faith for the student and themselves. And I do want you to know that Dr. Anand and Dr. Singh, we have walked in these steps. We know what it is like, and we completely empathize with the journey. Feel free to reach out to any of us. We are happy to answer questions, happy to make sure that the student knows all the aspects, because it is a big decision to make. Dr. Singh and Dr. Anand, do you have anything to add?
I would say that if you do choose UMSL, or if your students that are with you do choose UMSL as a place to learn, they will get the best education they can. Our goal is to be, especially in cybersecurity, to be the best in the nation. So we will definitely make sure that the students coming into the program are well educated and well-rounded for business requirements.
I'll just add here that as Dr. Mirchandani just said, we have been through the program here as a student ourselves, as an international student ourselves, so we understand what it is like. So if you choose to be here at UMSL, I think we would make your transition easier, smoother, and help you adjust with the educational system here.
Thank you so much, and I'm sure this has given a lot of confidence to our agents, and to let the students pass on that confidence that they will be very well taken care of, not just academically. However, the support which they need, being an international student, going to a new country, and going together for a different education system, because Indian system or the India subcontinent or the viewers, we are here. They are here from different part of the world, because education system is altogether different. So they will get all the support, whatever is needed, be it in terms of academics or otherwise as well. We have best supportive international student services team. Our admission team is wonderful. Our faculty is wonderful. Everybody is going to give them all sort of support. And then not to miss out the career services options, which are their career services team, the support which they are giving to everybody. Ashley, anything which you want to add up here, if you want to say something?
Absolutely. I just again want to thank everybody for their part in today. this is actually our first, faculty-led webinar that we've ever gotten to do. And, we were all really excited about it. And we're, of course, always excited about these programs. I started here at UMSL in November, and the faculty members, which are here today, were so good to welcome me and help me acclimate to University of Missouri St. Louis, and really come to love the university for my own reasons. So I want to say a huge thank you to our faculty for presenting and teaching us a little bit more about the programs today. And I want to extend a huge thank you to all of you at MSM for helping us make this possible, and to all of our guests for attending as well. We really appreciate you taking the time out of your evenings to join us today.
Thank you, Ashley. I would like to thank everybody for the faculty, as well as to you for taking out your time. I know that it's very early out there. So taking out your time at this time, and then passing all the information and most knowledgeable session about our programs and about University of Missouri St. Louis. So I would like to thank everybody who joined us today. If you have any questions, queries, I have mentioned my email address in the chat box. You can get in touch with me. I'm available. We will also get in touch with you for the people, those whose questions were not answered. We'll try to share across the information to you so that your questions are answered. And you can contact us or get to know about us by visiting our YouTube page. We have a lot of webinars. In fact, our UMSL webinar is also uploaded on the YouTube page. You can have a look at it. Look at that. And if you want to know about our upcoming webinars, you can follow our website, which is www.msquaremedia.com, and also follow us on social media. Everybody, our team is very active on social media. UMSL team is very active on social media. Please like, share whatever posts we do have, and pass it on to your students so that they can get maximum information about University of Missouri St. Louis. Thank you all. Thank you for your time.
Priyanka, could I add one last comment?
Please.
I also want to appreciate Ashley. Thank you for organizing this together with Priyanka. And thank you also for reaching out to us, because Dr. Anand and Dr. Singh, we had spoken with Ashley about what is it that makes UMSL and St. Louis welcoming to international students, Indian students. And we told her, you can get Maggi noodles and Parle G biscuits very easily in St. Louis, and all the spices and the groceries. I know for Indian students, after some time, personally for me, after some time, I miss Indian food. So it is definitely nice that St. Louis has access to all that and more.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Michandani. In fact, whenever I speak to the students, I tell them, you're not going to miss your Maggi or your snacks. You're not going to miss that. You will find all that, because we have a lot of grocery stores wherein you can buy your Indian snacks and Indian stuff. And in fact, we have Gurdwaras, Indian Sikh temple, and Hindu temple, Mahatma Gandhi Center, every place wherein you can be part of your community, because I know after some time you start missing your home. And then
Yes.
You guys are also there as a wonderful faculty and support and guide for our students.
Thanks, Priyanka.
Most welcome. So thank you, everybody. So we'll be taking off. We'll be taking your leave, and we have another session tomorrow, and we'll love to see you tomorrow as well. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.